It is our favourite time of the week to speak to our favourite person in the world, the wonderful Megyn Kelly. And surprise, surprise, after everything that people were carrying on about last week, things are coming back Trump's way when it comes to Ukraine and Zelensky.
Could you believe what happened in the Oval Office on Friday? It was one of those things where you were like, what? Right? The emotions, it was incredible. And honestly, I'm thrilled because I just feel like, look, I wish it hadn't happened. I wish it had gone well and they had signed the minerals deal that day. But something about it works, which is Trump reminding the world he's really not to be trifled with. Like, it's not all bluster. He will cut your meeting short and kick you out of the White House if you're not a good person, if you don't behave well. And so if he's willing to do that to a friend, like, think what he would do to an enemy. I actually just think it's a good message. Like, he really is the strong man that he purports to be. But if you look at that whole 40 minutes that preceded the big moment, he was a perfect gentleman. Kept getting antagonized, the eye rolling, the sighs, the interruptions from Zelensky, who has no bargaining power and really should be in a supplicant position toward the United States. And Trump kept his cool and finally blew. And now we're going to get the deal that we wanted. Only Zelensky's less powerful with less bargaining power and has humiliated himself. So it wasn't a smart move by Zelensky. Trump handled himself just fine. And I think this thing will get wrapped up because there's no place to go. There's no place for the negotiation to land that's better than the deal Trump is proposing.
I also think a really big thing that happened today, and a lot happened today, was that the company that makes little microchips that are important for computing now and into the future, they're going to spend $100 billion making stuff in the United States. Companies like Apple and Honda have now moved their operations back to the US. It's about $1.5 trillion worth of investments. Biden couldn't even get $1 trillion in 4 years.
Yeah, and Trump's doing very well with that so far. Look, we'll see. It takes a while for these chips manufacturing plants to be built. And so that's not going to be like a turnkey operation, but we're going to need to do that. And the Taiwanese have all the reason in the world to try to please the United States of America, because obviously they're very worried about what China is going to do to them. And that's going to be a whole other fight that we're probably going to be looking at over the next 4 years, because I don't think the American people have the appetite to fight a war against China any more than they do to fight one against Russia. And, you could make the case that China's that got its rights to Taiwan are much greater than Putin's were to Ukraine. So I don't think that's going to be a great foreign policy area over the next 4 years. But I love the investment. And that's what Trump's doing over and over. Look, I don't think he's trying to punish Canada and Mexico with these tariffs just for the sake of it. I really do think he's got a couple of goals. He does feel like we've been made chumps of because there's such a trade imbalance with other countries that our so-called friends, people say, why would you do this to our friends? Well, our friends are pouring fentanyl across the border at record numbers. Our friends are killing our kids. It's the number one cause of death. Fentanyl is the number one cause of death for young people in America. What kind of a friend keeps supplying the thing that's causing the death over and over and over and over? That's not a friend. Why should we treat them like they are? So Trump is telegraphing to both our neighbor to the south and north, we're serious about this. You will get the fentanyl from stop crossing our border, or you will be punished. And any trade imbalances, which are long past due to be addressed, will be now. And what we saw in Trump 1.0 was he said he was going to do that with China. And he did slap a tariff on China, tariffs, and they lost their heads on the left. And then when Biden took over, they were working so well, he kept them. Just Trump comes back in office, they're still in place. And Trump's like, they work so well, I'm going to slap another 10% on China. And now let's make it 25 on Canada and Mexico. And I do believe it will change behaviors. And I do believe there will be some short-term pain for some industries in America. But that if it gets unbearable or, too bad, Trump will do something. He's not just going to let the American farmer wither on the vine and close up shop. That's not Trump. Those are, in part, the communities that largely helped elect him. So I think we should trust in Trump. He was elected to try new and different things, and that's what he's doing. And I think we should trust in him to be nimble enough if something gets too bad and he believes it's actually not working to change it.
All right, let's go to the shallow end of the pond. Was Honora your favourite movie of the year? This is the movie about prostitutes that won Best Picture. And when I was watching it, I thought, you know who's going to love this? Megyn Kelly. I can see you and your beautiful boy, Doug, sitting on the couch watching it over and over and over again. It's the best picture, mate.
Sure. And I sat down with my 13-year-old daughter and I said, honey, it's sex worker. She's a sex worker. This is absolutely fine. You can be a tech worker. You can be an industrial worker. You can be a healthcare worker. Or you can be a sex worker. It's totally up to you, sweetheart. They're all equally empowering choices. The whole thing was an exercise in these preening, self-important celebrities who really don't have anything interesting to say. And then the other half who knew that about themselves, so just showed up naked. That's really what we got on Hollywood's biggest night.
Good stuff, Megyn. We'll see you again next week.
All right. See you, Paul. Bye.